Welcome to the Friday Spotlight Energy Report for October 22nd, 2010. Hosted by Jed Knudsen, Julia Batchison, and Chantel Flanders. Here is Julia with this week's major headlines.
Thanks, Jed. Last Friday, Russia and Venezuela finalized a deal regarding the construction of the first nuclear plant in the South American country. Under the deal, Russia will build 2 nuclear reactors, each 1,200 megawatts, at a plant in Venezuela. This led to questions regarding why such an oil and gas-rich country must engage in atomic energy production. Russian President Dmitry Medvedev stated that a nuclear reactor will help Venezuela be less dependent on global market fluctuations. President Medvedev stated, "The president of Venezuela said that there will be nations that will have different emotions about that, but I would like to emphasize that our intentions are absolutely pure and open. We want our partner Venezuela to have a full range of energy possibilities." Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez said that his country desires to reduce its dependency on gas and oil. He praised the assistance from Russia, stating, "Strategic cooperation with Russia gives my country a huge advantage." In response to this deal, U.S. President Barack Obama stated that Venezuela has the right of peaceful nuclear energy program development. He stated, "We have no incentive nor interest in increasing friction between Venezuela and the U.S., but we do think Venezuela needs to act responsibly." In other nuclear news, Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad reported that though Iran will participate in next month's nuclear talks, it will not yield its international rights regarding peaceful development of nuclear energy. World powers, including the U.S., fear that Iran is developing its nuclear program for reasons that are other than peaceful. Iran has denied this. A climate advisor with Royal Dutch Shell thinks that the European Union should set its sights further into the future. Shell's David Hone believes that rather than tightening the 2020 emissions targets, EU lawmakers should extend the rules regarding the carbon market through the year 2030. The current emissions target is a 20% decrease from 1990 levels. The EU is considering tightening this to a 30% emissions reduction by 2020. According to Mr. Hone, a high price today doesn't necessarily help when it comes to making long-term investment decisions. He supported his view by saying that it takes approximately 10 years to implement plants designed for carbon capture and storage. Rather than making changes to Phase 3 of the program, Mr. Hone thinks that lawmakers could set an allowance reserve price for the 4th phase. On Monday, the UK government reported that 8 new locations are viable for the construction of new nuclear power plants. The sites are Bradwell in Essex, Wilfa in Wales, Hartlepool located in northeast England, Sizewell in Suffolk, Heysham in Lancashire, Sellafield in Cumbria, Hinkley Point in Somerset, and Oldbury located in Gloucestershire. The UK government also announced that while it will be focusing on nuclear energy, the overall budget for renewable energy will be decreased. Among these cuts is the government investment into the Severn Estuary tidal energy project. Even though the project is no longer backed by the UK government, hope remains that the $30 billion project will be able to move forward with the help of private investors. Now over to Jed for our top energy news stories in the United States.
Thanks, Julia. Interior Secretary Ken Salazar continues the rapid-fire approval of solar projects in California. On Wednesday, he approved yet another project, this one being located in the Mojave Desert. This is now the 5th project on public lands that he has put his stamp of approval on. Tessera Solar will now have access to over 4,600 acres for the construction of the Calico Solar Project, if the project gains the approval of all agencies. The next hurdle is the California Energy Commission. While Salazar has seemingly given solar energy the green light, there are some analysts that feel the industry is still not performing as well as it could. In order for American solar projects to progress from the rooftop to the fossil fuel plant level, development of 100-acre-plus plants will be required. Each of these plants can cost up to $1 billion, which is a large amount to finance even when government incentives are taken into account. Abengoa Solar Chief Operating Officer Scott Fryer explained, "Because the debt market is so thin right now, it is very difficult to find lenders who are able to lend long-term." U.S. government programs for the solar industry include a cash grant covering 30% of project costs and a loan guarantee covering up to 80% of project costs. Loan guarantee applicants say the program is slow and undefined, causing only a few projects to receive approval. On Tuesday, new estimates were released regarding the carbon storage capacity of U.S. forests. These forests are a key weapon in the war against climate change. The recent report also found that over the past 20 years, the amount of carbon stored within forests has increased. The additional amount of carbon stored on an annual basis offsets approximately 11% of the industrial emissions of greenhouse gases in the U.S., according to Agricultural Secretary Tom Vilsack. Forest management on all lands can contribute significantly toward cooling a warmer planet, and this new information will assist the public and policymakers as we work to address this significant issue. While the public is getting excited about the fact that electric cars will soon be hitting the market in full force, the EPA is faced with a rather daunting task: figuring out the fuel efficiency for these vehicles. This job is proving to be a problem. Rating a car powered by gasoline requires only seeing how far it travels on 1 gallon of gas. Electric cars will not run unless they are charged, so rating them poses an issue. Though it is less pricey than gas, electricity is not free. However, a pure electric vehicle like the Nissan Leaf is simpler to rate than an electric gasoline hybrid like the Chevrolet Volt. According to the New York Times, General Motors and Nissan are in talks with regulators regarding rating these vehicles. A previous EPA calculation has since been rejected by the agency. GM says that consumers should expect the rating labels to be complex. Now over to Chantel with more energy news from around the world.
Thanks, Jed. Enel Green Power SPA, a renewable energy company based in Italy, will engage in an initial public offering of up to 32.5% of its Enel Green Power unit on the Spanish and Italian stock exchanges. The $4 billion the company hopes to raise will be used to fund wind power plants and other renewable energy projects within the U.S. Enel has had U.S. operations since the year 2000, when it acquired CHI Energy Incorporated, a renewable company based in Connecticut. Expanding within this country may enable the company to offset the European renewable energy slowdown due to the reining in of government-funded incentives. Japan hopes to offer both taxes and incentives designed to encourage companies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. A divided parliament within the country is making establishment of this legislation difficult. Japan has committed to a 25% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions from 1990 levels by the year 2020 if other major emitting countries develop similar targets. Japan's parliament is also focusing on a supplementary budget designed to finance economic stimulus. Deputy Chief Cabinet Secretary Tessera Solar reports that the economic stimulus package includes incentives. He stated that companies should look not just at the cost of burdens from policy steps in a climate change bill, but at the package of government measures as a whole. Boeing has decided to test a Chinese biofuel for the purpose of powering jets. Boeing conducted its first biofuel testing in 2008 on a Boeing 747 jet operated by Virgin Atlantic in London. The company has since tested various types of biofuels with different engines. The demonstration flight in China, planned for May or June 2011, will be the 6th for Boeing. The fuel that will be used is produced from the jatropha plant. This wild, thorny green shrub grows within hot climates like Africa and Latin America. PetroChina Company, a Chinese oil company, grows this plant within southern China, specifically for aviation use. According to Boeing's Chinese operation Vice President of Research and Technology, Al Bryant, it's harvested here and processed here, and we test it with an airplane operated by a Chinese airline, and that is going to be flown here in China. He went on to say this flight is going to demonstrate that China has the ability to create a new biofuel industry here in China. That is your energy news for this week. For more headlines, visit us at worldenergymedia.com. This is Chantel Flanders for Jed Knutson and Shona Kay at World Energy Media. Thanks for watching and have a great day.